Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Well, the season got started off well, but the Orioles won their first game in Boston and then lost the next two. Let's go to, you see, I am on MassonSports.com. Let's take a look at the box scores. Wait, to the right one. There we go. Thank you. This is the opening day game, Thursday. 10-9 Orioles. As you can see on the line here, Orioles led for the front half of the game, and then the back end of the game, things kind of fell apart. Rutschman had a great day, drove in 4 runs. Where are the home runs listed at? All right, here you go. Rutschman and Arias hit home runs. How many stolen? We had a bunch of stolen bases. We had 5 stolen bases. So the offense, for the most part, definitely looked pretty good. Game 1. Game 2, they only scored 8. They lost. Yesterday, Sunday, 5 and lost. Now, looking at these scores, it looks like the offense is going to be able to put up points, runs, however you want. Part of that is a new stolen base rule, or I guess not specifically a stolen base rule, more how big the bases are, making the base pass shorter, and the weird rule of not being able to pick off as many times. So, Orioles, Mateo and Mullins specifically took full advantage of that. 7 stolen bases between the two of them for the first 3 games of the year. That's huge. But in the end, pitching, at least in that series, proved to be a weakness. Kyle Gibson, the opening day starter, went 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. That's not terrible, I guess, in this era of Major League Baseball. But bullpen, with as many roster spots devoted to bullpen arms, you kind of expect your bullpen not to give up 4 runs, especially when one of them is your closer. That was disappointing. Orioles didn't play well defensively. Well, I guess that is misleading. They did have a few miscues that led to runs, but they did make some good plays. Probably most notably was the Saturday game. McKenna dropped the ball with Batista on the mound. As you can see here, these 2 runs right here in the 9th. So a man was on when the next guy hit a home run instead of it being the 3rd out. So you can think of it as one of those kind of fluky things that happen in baseball. But, I mean, that's what happens when you want to trot out 7 left fielders in a 3-game series, or however many you put out there. A little too much for Fenway Park. It's an old stadium. I understand that. People should know how to play left field at Fenway Park. But the outfield is a little more unique than most stadiums. So you can certainly understand how some players may not play the outfield well there, depending on who you are. Of course, what would help is if they got some consistency out there. See, as we look at this second game here, you can see the numbers: 13 hits. That's pretty good. More stolen bases. They put up points, put runs. I keep saying points like it's football season and it's points and not runs. The Orioles can put runs on the board. At least that's what this first series showed us. We assume it will continue, but what? The season will play out. Pitching let him down. Specifically in game 2, Kramer did not have a good outing. Dean Kramer started the second game, and as you can see here, 3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. And no, that's not good at all. You can see Batista's line down here. Technically, with the error, they aren't earned runs, they're runs. But still, runs are runs. Third game, Sunday's game, really for the most part seemed to be all Red Sox. Red Sox scored early. Then you can see the Orioles did tie it up. And then what happened? Gave it right back. As you can see, Cole Irvin also did not have a good outing. Yes, 3 runs by the bullpen isn't great. But all in all, 4 innings with 3 runs given up, you'd like it to be a lot better. But at the same time, these 3 games were any indication on what the season's going to be like. Get ready for some old school football scores. I mean, look at 5-9. That was the lowest one. 8-9. 10-9. 10-9. That looks like a football score. That's a touchdown and a field goal versus 3 field goals. Weird baseball scores. It's really sad to see some of these pitching performances, especially when Grayson Rodriguez isn't up here. I mean, I gotta believe that Grayson Rodriguez could at least do this. 4 innings pitched, 6 earned runs. He's got to be able to do that. These starters are going to have better performances. Otherwise, Grayson's going to take their spot. Well, he should. His first round draft pick should be in a rotation already, but weird things going on with that stuff. I wasn't really too impressed with the bullpen. They did have a few good outings, a few good performances, if you will. Brian Baker did perform well yesterday. It's nice to see. This was just... There's so many pitchers trotted out there. Gonna have to get a handle on that. Really gonna have to get a handle on that. Disappointed to see Perez not having a strikeout. It's kind of odd, but He didn't give up any runs, which is good. Baker again. Strikeout, but so it doesn't. It's a very small sample size, and I guess I'm being a little bit of a pessimist. Maybe it's because I've been watching the Orioles for the past several years. But I do feel like the pitching kind of took a turn last year for the better. The way they came out of the gate this year does not look good. I mean, first impressions, people. You gotta do a little bit better than this. This is kind of, ugh. Especially when the offense played so well. I mean, Mullins has 2 home runs already. And all those stolen bases. Kind of disappointing. Now, on that stolen base note, Jorge Mateo was running all over the place. So, was it Saturday's game? It was Saturday's game. He went in third base. He was safe, but some random footsteps by the third baseman for the Red Sox and caught Mateo's hand. And of course, it was the hand that doesn't have the oven mitt on it. Why he only has the oven mitt on one hand and not both, I don't know. But, of course, it was his right hand that got a little cut up. Now, he didn't play Sunday, but as you can see in this article written by Rock Kubatko, I am butchering this name, and I know this name. Rock Kubatko. Seriously? What is wrong with me? I think it's in my mind now. It's in my mind. I'm just going to screw this name up. I'm going to get it. I swear I'm going to get it. Kubatko. I don't know. Feels weird in my mouth. Rock Kubatko. Why do I feel like I've said this before? I have terrible trouble with this. Kubatko. That's fairly close, I think. Oh, after that fiasco's over. Whew. Mateo, he was held out of Sunday's game. Now that is allegedly just a normal day off. Try to get, and I assume that's why there were so many different left fielders, trying to get people into the game, into a Major League Baseball game during the regular season instead of, spring training is spring training, right? So, get some more people in there. As you can see, Mateo did play catch to test his right hand. He has bandages. He did finish the game Saturday with a bandaged hand. I'm kind of surprised he finished the game. When he was taking warm-up tosses when he came out to play the field for the next inning after he got stepped on. Yeah, I mean, he didn't look right, but he got through it. Something that he's going to have to keep his eye on going into bases, especially head first like he likes to do. You gotta watch the hands, especially the throwing hand. Was it intentional? I mean, I'm me, so I think it's intentional. I mean, what are you stomping your feet around there for? Just catch the ball. You weren't going to get him anyway. To me, you're stomping your feet trying to get his hand. But that's just me. Other injury update. Instead of me accusing people of playing dirty, James McCann has resumed baseball activities, hitting in the cage, catching bullpen sessions, as you can see here. He is progressing nicely. So, to wrap up the Boston series, the first one anyway, I think I'm pleasantly surprised with the offense. I think they showed good power, good ability to drive in runs, great base running. Field at times they looked shaky, though it is Fenway Park, and it was well, not necessarily unusually cold for this time of year, but weather may have been an issue. It was a little chilly, there was winds blowing. Not that that's not normal for any baseball game, really. Not really happy with the pitching performance. I think the starters pitched badly. The bullpen didn't do him any favors. Now, because the starters pitched badly, the bullpen is taxed. Or at least more than you would like them to be taxed. A lot of innings out of the bullpen. So, could their poor performance be attributed to lack of performance by the starting pitchers? Yes and no. At the same time, you understand that your starters didn't give you any length, but you got 9 spots on your roster devoted to the bullpen, or however many it is. 8, 9. That's a lot of dudes in the bullpen. That's a lot of dudes in the bullpen. I don't want to hear that your bullpen is too taxed. You have 8 dudes out there. That's a lot of. You can cover a lot of innings with 8 dudes. Maybe you don't have the right dudes out there in the bullpen. Maybe that's what you get for having Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall start the year in the minor leagues. All right, moving on. Boston series is over. Let's talk about this one coming up. See if I can say this name correctly. Steve Molesky. I think I'm saying that correctly. Not speaking too well today. Orioles will be traveling to Texas, or I guess they're already there technically. Should be a 3-game series in what they call the field, Globe Life Field. Bradish is going to get to start today. Projected starters, I think, I know the projected starters are. Who knows if that's how it will go. That's why we call them projected starters. Tomorrow it should be Tyler Wells, and then after that it will be Kyle Gibson. Again, that's a tentative plan. And as you can see right here, Kyle Stowers and Anthony Benboom will get their first starts. Benboom is filling in at backup catcher for McCann until he gets back. I assume they're not going to carry 3 catchers, but we'll see. They have lineups posted. May or may not be. I mean, it's only a few hours till the game, so this is close to solid. Mullins in center, Rutschman at DH. Why I bring up the lineup. I don't like this. Rutschman's going to play enough games. When it's time for him to get a break, he needs to get a break. I would like to see somebody else DH here and get Rutschman some rest. Catching is tough. It always has been, and it's probably tougher now with as many foul balls. I feel like there's more foul balls now than there were 20, 30 years ago. Could just be me. A lot of them are going off the catchers. You got to give them time to let their bodies heal. Yes, I know he's only DHing, but what happens at the plate? You foul pitches off your shins and your feet. I really like to see the guy get a break. So, but you can also see here, Mateo is back in there at shortstop, so we'll have to see how he's throwing. Hopefully he's still okay. I'm not too familiar with the Texas team. Don't have too many guys I know that well. Marcus Semien here, though. He's a hitter. He's somebody they're going to have to lock down. I cover everything. I talk about everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, this video is long enough. And me rambling on about random stuff. Mispronouncing names like a dickhead. Yeah, so that's going to do it for me for this week. Oh, I don't. Who's the next series against? Is it the Yankees? Are the Yankees coming in? Where are they? How was the schedule? Yes, the Yankees come to town. How exciting! So after the series with Texas, the Orioles will come home for the first series with the Yankees. So my next show in a week, I'll be talking about Rangers and then the Yankee series, and then look ahead a little bit. That's all for now. Be sure to like, subscribe, throw some comments in there. It doesn't really matter. Nobody's watching this. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.